Hello to everyone out there. This is Greg from Invest Formosa. And of course, most of the people that sort of know who we are, we sort of provide information geopolitically and also economically. Of course, we know they're both tied together very tightly. We do other things, but today we want to talk about an article that we've written. And like I said, there's so many things that are going on today that we can actually talk about, but we want to talk about Donald Trump. I mean, everybody knows that the last month or so, it's been America and the elections and Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, and we want to talk about the significance of Donald Trump's nomination to be the president of the United States. Of course, this is only our opinion, and our opinion is basically based on a lot of information that we collect. We do lots and lots of research and lots of reading, so I just want to get into this. Now, first of all, the election that has taken place here recently still doesn't take away from the fact that we are going through a global economic collapse. And I'm sure most people are aware of that, and many people around the world can start to sense this thing that's happening, in Europe, definitely, in North America and, countries like Japan. And what we want to talk about is we want to talk about the Rothschild banking family, which is basically, this is where the problem is, and sort of like how, Donald Trump, his election is connected to this. And also, we want to talk about, war, like basically nuclear war. So first of all, the major problem that's happening here is the Rothschild banking industry or family. Now, a lot of people may not know who these people are, but basically, to sum it up very shortly, the Rothschild Banking Empire is probably the wealthiest, most powerful, Western entity on the planet. These people have, 170 banks in different countries, in 170 countries. They've been, basically have been around for about 200 years, since the Battle of Waterloo, where they've had control of the Bank of England, and then they've proceeded right from there, controlling Europe. This banking empire has funded both sides of each war, or of the wars that have happened over this period of time. They control the Federal Reserve, they control the World Bank, they control the BIS, which is the Bank of International Settlements. So basically, these people over this time have made trillions and trillions of dollars off billions and billions of people. And the problem now today is this Rothschild clan, they've actually ran up debt basically in the derivative market of roughly over $2,300 trillion. And this is the shadow banking for the planet. And basically, it actually controls, just about every banking facility that you can imagine. It also controls the global GDP and supports that, which is around $70 trillion a year. So that's just the magnitude of, this organization. Now, about the war facet of this, the history of war, like I said, we're just touching on these things and sort of pulling it together. Now, most people know that every war starts first as a money war. It's about money. It's not about religion or things. Well, some people may think it's religion. I really don't want to get into that, but we believe that most wars start with a money war, and then a money war or currency war becomes a hot war. And today, what's happening is there's two entities. People think that there's only, one entity, the Rothschild banking family and, the one world order or one world government or something. Well, if people do a lot of reading, they find that, that's not the case. There's another group of people that I really don't want to get into other than if people want to research. They're called the White Dragons of the East. These are Eastern families that have been around that go back over 2,000 years. And of course, I'm sure people can feel free to check up on this. And I know there's people out there that know about this family or this group of families. So there's like two entities. So you've got the White Dragons of the East and you've got the Rothschild banking family. And it's these two families that are actually fighting it out. And today, this fight is taking place in a proxy war, and it's happening in Syria. And this is where they've been battling it out over the last 5 years. We follow this too, and actually, there's no question that the Eastern Dragons are winning, which basically represent China and Russia and Iran. And as anybody's been following, they see that this side is actually, about ready to wrestle Syria back to where it needs to be in the geopolitical place, which is another story. So what's happening now is when there's a hot war that goes on, like I said, the options are we have a money or currency war, and then we have a hot war. Well, it appears from what we've read is that there's basically two options. Like I said, we have a currency war, then it goes to hot war, or the other option is like an organized collapse. And this is what we feel that's happening between these two entities of the White Dragons and the Rothschild banking clan, is that they've had a lot of meetings about this, and it appears that the Rothschild banking family has decided to go through an organized collapse. And like, how do we know that, or how would one would know that? Is first of all, one has to realize that in order to have a collapse, these things don't happen by chance. They don't just happen overnight. They take a long period of time. And if you can look back since 2012, you can see that the eastern side has been organizing themselves, like China and Eastern countries. They've been setting up their own financial centers, like the Shanghai Gold Exchange, the AIIB, BRICS, One Belt, One Road. They've been setting up trade swap agreements with countries. So many countries now are starting to take the RMB. They're bypassing the petrodollar. They're creating their own international banking transfers, like SWIFT, setting up their own credit card rating systems, and of course, many other things they're doing. Now, the other thing is like, first of all, some people think, wow, we're not even going through a collapse. But that's just obviously not the case. There's so many things that are happening, and they've been rapidly happening over the last, I would say, maybe even 15 years from 2000, but definitely since 2008, since we've had the last sort of mini collapse. And as we can see, there's more and more big banks that are failing, countries that are becoming insolvent. We're having problems, all over Europe. With Italy, and that's moving itself forward, which is basically going to get France, and then it's going to come to Germany. So there's many things happening there. But we can see high unemployment rates, increased manipulation of the fraud in every single market, QE to infinity, negative interest rates, social unrest, social system breakdown, more wars. It's very obviously that obviously something is happening, and the events are happening quicker. So, as I mentioned, you can see that we can see collapse on one end, and we can also see that the East is getting prepared for this Western collapse as it shifts. So you will see a West to East transfer of wealth, of power, of, well, I would say just about everything. And I mean, I don't want to, get into that, but other than you can just see the shift. So, I mean, the question is like, why is Donald Trump, president, and why now? I mean, a lot of people think that the people of the United States has spoke up and, they want change. I totally believe that, yes, I mean, they want change. The world wants change. Of course, every place in the world, they're sort of not happy with the governments and what direction things are going. So people, of course, want change. But, I mean, we feel that the reason why Donald Trump is there, he's there not because the people basically voted him, is because maybe the Rothschild family has, allowed this to happen. I mean, I would say in the last 50 years, I would say there's been really no fair presidential election in America, and that could go for a lot of countries as well. So why is this happening? We believe that, Donald Trump might be the perfect fall guy to blame for the financial, system collapsing. And we feel that, once he gets inaugurated here, I believe he gets set up here January 20th, where he takes over as being president. We feel within that period of time, up until the next 3 to 6 months, is where we're going to see things just totally happening, totally falling apart. But again, I mean, that's something we'll have to wait for. I mean, the other thing is that Donald Trump, everybody's aware that he wants to make friends with Russia. And he wants to sort of help out in Syria. And we feel that this is definitely something that is, a very strong sign that America and NATO are not going to choose a nuclear war and, fight Russia and China and probably 80% of the planet. So we feel that, this is a very good indication that the Rothschild banking family's days are numbered. We feel that they're going to go through an organized collapse. And, we'll just have to see as far as how this is going to play out. And of course, I mean, we would like to hear from people's comments, what they have to say about this. And of course, we're going to, give updates along the way. So thank you very much for listening.